Hi, welcome. In this video, continuing to kind of focus in on just the divisiveness happening in the dog training world. And again, the controversy involving, this Dylan, Dylan Jones and the back and forth between Dylan and the president of the International Association of Canine Professionals. Now, this is Dylan again. A post calling out the president as a hack. Okay, based again on how he's interacting with a aggressive dog using the remote call. Now, some of the comments coming in on this again, this whole kind of back and forth kind of illustrates just the level that the dog training community is at. I want to read this because, again, this shows you how just nasty this stuff gets. So the comment here from a individual, Liz Monty, says the dog is fear aggressive mess and has zero bite inhibition. The soft attempts to help the dog all failed. I have no problem with this video. So here, this person's like supporting the video, the one of again with using the remote color that way. Again, I talk about the problems with that. But again, you talk about, some history here. Obviously, this person knows some history on this dog, saying that, other approaches didn't work. But again, I talk about why approaches don't work when they align with this superficial idea of what training is. So then going over to the other side of things with using remote color that way, it's still not working, okay? Because it has to align and come together the right way. So she goes on here, that dog is not being provoked to be aggressive. It is aggressive. That is a dangerous dog. Um, it says, you have assumed that I was saying dangerous dog in a bad way. I'm not. I'm saying because the only way to handle this dog in the state is with a muzzle, slip lead, and short e-collar, but only after conditioning to the e-collar first. Secondly, the crazy idea that it's better to put on a bite suit and long line needs to be addressed. So I talk about, going over to Dylan and say Larry Crohn's, you see these trainers putting on the bite suits, right? Letting the dog express control that way is a very bad idea. Okay, this goes into the confusion. Understand, the role of, the human, but also the role of influence is to intercept that level of stinking thinking, not allow it to be expressed. Because yes, the dog could be, you're letting the dog gain fulfillment that way. It doesn't solve the issue. Okay, it's like you're trying to displace it, saying, well, it'd be like turning your back and the way you want to see the bite suit type of concept. It's like a selfish child that's out of control, and the parents just kind of turning their back and just ignoring it, not dealing with it. They're just ignoring it. Hopefully, it just kind of dissipates and goes away. Well, that's a really bad way to be handling things as a parent. Person holding long line could end up being redirected on. Person in bite suit could have the dog attack his neck, face, hand, and that's all. Those are all valid points. Then what? You get a dog that ends up being put to sleep. Not all dogs are soft enough to test a bite suit. One day, Dylan's going to come across like a really serious case. Now, here's the problem. Now, this is Dylan, okay, responding to this person saying, "Well, there's some things to consider here." And there's some valid points the person mentions there. Now Dylan puts on it goes, you went from being a mildly funny weirdo to a generally psychotic person. I seriously now look at this. Now look at this comment. I seriously hope something horrible happens to you personally, something that ends it all, if you will. Who says something like that? I mean, really, think about it. I talk about why does these trainers are getting so like a type of identity crisis, but when someone like challenges them on what they're doing, like taking it to the street, and then the person responds, "Dylan, you're such an a-hole to wish a person harm, but not wish a dog like this learns to stop that insane biting reaction when it's upset. Kind of like you, Dylan, seriously reactive and aggressive to people. Time to muzzle and leash you. Oh, by the way, normal people do not wish others to have horrible things happen to them, but a narcissist like you definitely would. You just hate people in general. Your hate is so severe that you would rather see that dog continue as it is rather than go through the same discomfort and in the better place. Genius. And again, valid points here. I talk about the dog training world is based on appearances, is just full of trainers who are completely self-focused. Understands exactly what's going on. So again, just to kind of illustrate, I want to kind of focus in on just the state of the dog training world. I mean, just it's driven by ego, by pride. Pride's at the root of all of it. And these trainers just kind of going off. And you're seeing it. You're seeing the mess really starting to get worse and worse and worse. This is another controversy happening, even as people continue to struggle in understanding what is really going on. I put out specific information as to why are these things happening, including why the dog training world is in the state that it's in. Thanks for watching.